Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all on the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Drop me a comment. You gotta click that bell icon for notifications to know when I go live. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, even Instagram for some gym motivation and trading view. One word, it's right here. Whoop. Crypto Bull God. Guys, it's good to be back in the home office. As you know, I was back visiting my family in Pennsylvania. I did a couple live streams while I was home, but definitely wanted to make sure to prioritize spending time with my family, given that, you know, I generally only see them twice a year. Good trip home. Good trip home. Parents are a little bit of, what terminology would I use? Homebodies. They like to stay at home. So trying to get my parents out of the house. I did manage to do that. One day, we took an exciting trip to two farmers markets, which was actually a nice trip. So, you know, grew up not too far from the Amish. So one of the benefits of that, going to farmers markets, you get a lot of fresh food. Most of the food at those farmers markets I stay away from. There's a lot of pastries and sweets and things like that, things that I'm not into. But you can find some good food there. Also bought some moonshine while I was there. Tested out some moonshine, got myself a little shot glass. Fun fact about CBG, I actually collect shot glasses. I began collecting shot glasses at the young age of approximately 14 before I even knew what alcohol was. Definitely was not underage drinking at the age of 14. Never really underage drank much at all whatsoever anyway, but I always thought shot glasses were really cool, so I collected shot glasses. DT, it's good to see you, brother, man. I haven't seen you in the live stream in a bit. Drop a comment. Have yourself a cup of Earl Grey or a cup of coffee, and enjoy the live stream. By the way, DT and everybody else tuning in, I'm going to make sure to put out enough tweets tomorrow to remind everybody, but I'm very excited about the live stream tomorrow. I'm going to have Tony the Bull on, and I'll make sure to pull up his information tomorrow. But Tony is a really solid technical analyst, and I think that we're going to gel really well on the live stream. And the reason for that is because he's a grounded technical analyst who may be accredited very shortly, and we'll get into that tomorrow. I believe it's CMT, Chartered Master Technician. I have to look up what the initials stand for again, but he's actually gone through some formal training. He's also the individual that I've looked at going through Elliott wave analysis to become licensed as a certified Elliott wave technician. Looking to do that potentially with him towards the beginning of the fourth quarter, or before the fourth quarter actually of this year potentially. But no, I think the reason that we're going to gel really well tomorrow is because he's an authentic, genuine technical analyst that's looking to help other people, and is really passionate about the space. And that describes me. Guys, I've said on this channel many times, you know, the primary thing that you should be doing in this market is self-educating. Beyond that, you know, if you find my content helpful, which I certainly hope that you do, you use me as one resource, one data point. But like I said, there are other value-added technicians in the space. He's one of them. So very happy to bring him on the channel, and looking forward to doing further collaboration with both himself and other individuals moving forward, as I'm looking to get more and more and more involved in this space because I'm very passionate about the space. Welcome back in, guys. Let's fucking go, Josh. Guys, tomorrow's going to be a really interesting day. If you have not checked out, let me go to my YouTube studio video section here before we get into the charts. I had published a video, hasn't gotten a lot of views, this one. Digibyte video is doing really well, but the Bitcoin video, Bitcoin Boom or Bust, even if you don't have the capability to like sit down and watch like roughly 20 minutes, totally understand. It's good at least auditorily, listening to that. We have a Fed interest rate decision tomorrow, and you know that I believe that people love to hear the headlines because that creates a narrative in their heads. But ultimately, I'm a data scientist. I evaluate the empirical data and allow that to speak for itself. In that video, it's a refresher in terms of what the empirical data says once the Federal Reserve pauses interest rates. Is it possible that the Federal Reserve will buck the trend and do the much lower statistical move of increasing rates tomorrow now that they've paused? Yeah, certainly that's a possibility. There's no certainties, but there is a much higher statistical probability associated with them remaining paused at current interest rate levels, and the next course of action several months out from now will actually be decreasing rates. And that's what I point to in that video. Again, it's not my emotional opinion. I'm not listening to the words of an old man at a podium telling him he's looking out for our best interests. I'm not listening to the words of anyone. I'm looking at data and making a decision based on data. I do it all day at work, and it's what I do with the charts here within crypto and the financial markets. So I am going to be a contrarian and say that tomorrow they are not going to increase interest rates. They're going to remain at 5% or whatever it's at, and they're not going to move forward with an interest rate increase. It'll be interesting to see if that pans out, because again, if somebody told you, hey, there's a 95% probability of this or a 5% probability of this, which side would you go with? I'd go with 95% probability. So we'll see. Now, if that does happen, there certainly would be a strong reaction by markets to the positive upside. That's what I would anticipate, based on them doing something that 99% of the population is not expecting. Everyone, I haven't heard one analyst, I have not heard one single person on any podcast, on any Twitter spaces, on any YouTube video, nothing. I haven't heard a single person say they believe that the Federal Reserve tomorrow will leave rates unchanged. Everyone's saying they're increasing interest rates. So again, could it happen? Absolutely. Do I believe it's most likely? Absolutely not. So we'll see what happens. But right now, and that kind of bleeds well into what I wanted to cover here on the 12-hour chart. You can see Doge is making a strong move, which we're going to get into. This is this Bitcoin 12-hour chart, and one of the things I spoke to, especially after we started getting 12-hour candle closes on here under this purple 50 simple moving average, this orange box I had previously identified was getting more and more likely, and you can see we're sitting right in the orange box. The other thing that I would point out on this chart, for those who are newer to the channel, for those that are fellow followers of the channel, this will not be new information. I just want to reiterate this. 28,400, which is the 200 simple moving average on the 12-hour. Again, given where we're at within the market and where I believe Bitcoin is going over the next handful of several months here towards creating new all-time highs, this 200 simple moving average on the 12-hour chart, it's going to act as an area of support, right? If history is any indicator of what it's done in the past. Now, could we wick below this? Could we get a candle body or two below this, or a few? Yes, absolutely. But I have highlighted here an area that I want you to pay the most attention to, which is the dark red line up here and the dark green line. So ideally, what I don't want to see for Bitcoin are candle body closes. Now, I'm not talking about price wicks. Candle body closes going below 27,500. It's a major area of price confluence I've identified. We also have a major area of price confluence to the upside here around 31,500, okay? Once we break 31,500, you guys know, looking at a weekly chart here, this chart is very telling. This area, once it's broken, this orange box is on deck. We have not gotten there as quickly as I would have liked to have seen or was anticipating based on my primary hypothesis of seeing a blow-off top in Bitcoin this year. We'll have to see how the market responds before the end of the month. We only have 6 days left this month, so we'll have to see if we start to get some significantly strong price action to close out the month. Now, if this month, and again, 35, this area right up here, this 35.5 to 43, this is the next major area where I see Bitcoin consolidating. If July comes in as a relatively flat month, I'm going to have to reassess with you sort of my thoughts in terms of this extending out into the early part of next year for Bitcoin having a blow off top versus the end of this year, because I was anticipating this month to be a big month. Again, if you want to get my thoughts in terms of where I see a blow off top coming, my two main views going into the 2024 Bitcoin halving, I put out a video on it. It just published on July 19th. That was on, when the hell was that? Last Wednesday, so nearly a week ago. Again, not a ton of views out there, but I'm giving an expectation in terms of what I see going into the halving. And also, if you haven't seen that video, it's not such a bad thing if this thing extends into the early part of next year, and I explained why. But we'll have to see where this month comes in. But again, I had tweeted this chart out today. This is such a beautiful looking stair-step scenario here that we have going on, right? So we're just looking for that next higher high and higher low to come in here right now, but there's nothing alarming about the charts. One of the things that I reiterate with you guys on this channel is there are a lot of people, okay? There are a lot of people that YouTube, everybody is fighting for attention on YouTube. Everybody is fighting for attention on YouTube. And I know I struggle sometimes as a content creator in terms of how I can best grab everyone's attention while maintaining 100% integrity to have the core of what I do in the content, right? I never want to be a clickbaity channel. That is not what I want to do. If I had to describe myself as an individual, one of the things at the core of who I am as a person, integrity, okay? So I can't do the clickbait thing, but everyone is fighting for attention. And what I've noticed during my time of being on YouTube and being in crypto, especially now as a content creator, I can appreciate it. There's a lot of people who on the day-to-day fight for your attention based on thumbnails and clickbaity tags and video titles, okay? Again, who the hell cares about the day-to-day, guys? The best thing you can do for 99% of you, zoom out and look at a chart like this on the weekly, okay? There's nothing. I mean, this to me is a major trend reversal here, okay? We got through the descending resistance. Things aren't just going to go straight up, right? We're creating stair steps right now. We have to remain patient. We have to remain patient. Let's see how we close the month out. And until we start to invalidate certain levels, I mean, if we started to, where I would be concerned if you said to me, well, hey, CBG, as bullish as you are, and I see what you're saying, we've invalidated the descending line of resistance here. We've been creating higher highs and higher lows. I'm on the same page with you. I see what you're saying. But realistically, when would you start to become concerned about the longer term trend in terms of what's going on? Really, if we started to get candle body closes below this line here at about 24,300, and again, I'm not talking about some sort of sharp volatility wick and we close above here. I'm talking about closing under here, because if we closed under 24,300, that starts to really significantly increase the likelihood there's going to be more downside that would be unexpected from myself, and that's when I would be concerned. I always keep things 100% real with you guys. But until if that happens, is that a grammatically correct statement? Until if that happens, I'm not concerned one bit. What I mean also about this chart, this weekly view on Bitcoin being so beautiful, is right now, after this huge volume spike up in this green Jesus candle that we got on the weekly, look what we're doing here. This to me right now is just sideways consolidation. Sideways consolidation, Tony actually said it really well in his newsletter. Let me see if I have that handy. I had tweeted out something recently that he had in his newsletter, and I'm going to share some information on his newsletter if you guys want to subscribe. I found a lot of information as a pretty solid technical analyst myself in that newsletter. This one right here. So this is Tony, by the way. This is the guy that's going to be on the channel tomorrow, which I'm really looking forward to. But in this tweet here, I want you to consider what Tony shared in his most recent newsletter. At the moment, we are experiencing what most would consider the max pain scenario, sideways. In a market as exciting and as volatile as cryptocurrencies, sideways hurts the most. Perfectly spoken. Perfectly spoken. This sort of price action, as much as a technical analyst like myself would look at this and say, oh, wow, healthy consolidation. All of the emotional retail investors, okay, the people in the market, or even people who don't, well, I'm implying people that don't read charts, But even some people who are a little bit more veteran and have been in this space, at least the way they come across in some of their videos, because I do pay attention to certain YouTube channels out there to get a gauge of the market. I just see a lot of impatience, okay? And that's what this sideways chop did. Remember, we evaluated this a live stream pretty recently, about a week and a half ago, where I said, look, two months of downward consolidation was wiped out in literally a week, okay? We moved down from 31,000 all the way wick down to 24,800. In a matter of a week, we spiked up to 31,500, guys. That's how quick this market moves, okay? Would not surprise me one bit to get some sort of unexpected positive news tomorrow about the rates remaining paused, and the market reacts strongly tomorrow, turning this into some bullish candle. We'll have to see. But I don't anticipate this month printing some sort of bearish red candle. Let's take a look at the monthly real quick. Yeah, and we're going to take a look at this. Let me take a look at the calendar with you guys. Okay, so we close out the month next Monday. I'm going to have to consider doing a live stream differently on Monday to coincide with when the candles start to close out. What I could consider doing next Monday is doing a monthly close live stream around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. CBG is an early riser, so typically I don't like live streaming that late. That's late for me. I'm generally in bed at like 9 o'clock, if not before. Like last night I was exhausted. I was in bed at like 8 o'clock. I fell asleep, I don't know, somewhere around 9 o'clock I fell asleep, and I got up at 4:45 this morning. So, but in any event, I think that it should, the 31st, either way, whatever happens this week, it's going to provide an exciting monthly close. We have this MACD churning up. We have a lot of things going on, of course, here. Look, you know, something I've been evaluating. Oh, that's a different indicator. We'll turn that off. That's proprietary to someone else that I'm subscribed to. I thought that was the Williams R percentage, because that's what Tony had in his newsletter that I've been evaluating certain charts with. Do I have the Williams R percentage on here? No, I don't. I was evaluating a few charts with it. All right, so that's Bitcoin. That's what I'm seeing with Bitcoin. I think either in any scenario, we're going to be taking a look at Caspa, Greg. Glad you brought it up. If you saw my tweet earlier, if you're following me at CryptoBullGod on Twitter, I named a few projects we're going to take a look at, and of course, I'll take your questions as well. On the deck for today, we've talked about Bitcoin. Those are my expectations. We're going to take a quick look at XRP and XLM. We're going to take a look at Doge is making some moves, as well as Injective Protocol and Caspa. We're going to take a look at Caspa. I'm also considering putting out a video purely based on Caspa, with seeing a lot of attention given to that project. I've been doing some research on it as well, so I think what I'd ideally like to do is share some thoughts on fundamentals, both fundamentals and technicals related to that project. Let's take a look at XRP. You're welcome, Greg. Let's take a look at XRP and XLM. Just wanted to give a quick update there. Nothing surprising that's going on in that chart, guys. If you watched this is actually what I drew out in the video. If you watched my latest XRP video, it just published last Friday. If you're an XRP investor, you're part of the XRP community, you're going to want to check that out. What the hell was the orange box? Oh, in any event, I kind of sketched out the video here that what I was anticipating, and I was saying emphatically, been saying on my videos, do not buy up in this 80-70 cent range. Wait for a pullback. You do not want to chase a trend. It's the worst thing you can do. I am waiting for some healthy consolidation in this area. This area is all the way down towards 49.5 cents, all the way up at 65 cents. My sweet spot on XRP I spoke to is around 58 cents. So I would not be interested in buying any XRP until we can, and we're seeing the pullback, but I would not be interested in purchasing any XRP until we personally start getting down to this 58 cent level. I gave this as a theoretical sort of idea that on a higher time frame, you can see, even though this would sort of be frustrating to a lot of people, you know, you could get wicks down here into the 50 cent area, but as long as candle body's closed in here, you still have a bull pennant, right? You have the pole and the flag, so it'll be interesting to see if that pans out. Let's take a quick look at XLM. XLM had some strong moves the last I looked at it, though. Again, I am not a buyer at these levels, and I've shared this much. This is on a weekly we can keep it on a weekly. Again, these orange levels, typically I have green as support, but I have orange in this example for XLM as support. Again, we're seeing some nice, healthy consolidation. If you bought, don't feel bad. You learn from your experiences in life. If you were purchasing XLM up in this 19, 18, 17, 16 cent area, don't feel bad. Learn from it. Never chase a trend. Allow it to come to you. This is on the weekly. Let's go to a 3-day. Again, the reason that I have 11.4 to 10.8 cents drawn here as orange areas of support, there's price confluence if we move left, okay? I am not interested in XLM until we start to get down to this 11 to 10 cent area. I'm not a buyer. I'm waiting for this thing to come back to me. Again, it's all about creating higher highs and higher lows. We have a low here. We can come all the way down to this area, create a higher low, and then we can continue to start moving up and forming these higher highs up here, guys. Just be patient, okay? You can be a supporter of a project and also be disciplined with your buy-sell strategy. Next on deck, we're going to speak to Doge, then we're going to get to Caspa and Injective Protocol. Doge is having a nice break today. Again, I think if you evaluated this chart, this was on an earlier Doge video that I did this year, strictly for the Dogecoin. I put out a video, guys. I created a similar looking chart for Digibyte. I think that if I had a daughter or a son and I stuck them in front of this computer and I asked them to draw out what they expected next, a kindergartner could look at this and tell you what is going on here, guys. Now, I will say this though. If you're following any technical analysts, you see how we're starting to break out of this black downward, sorry, this is auto scaling. You see how we are breaking out of this. Let me get these lines off. Let me get this moving average off for now because it's distracting. You see how we're starting? Wow. You see how we're starting to break out of this downward area of resistance here? Okay, the black line, that's good, but I also want to start breaking the gray line, okay? I want to start breaking up here. And really, I'm not getting excited until we start to get candle body closes above 12 cents, and I'll explain why. For right now, this is some form of a volatility wick, which is fine, but I need to see follow through. Until I see follow through in this chart, I'm not getting overly excited. I'm not going to pull out the Digibyte BTC chart, but I saw also a Digibyte BTC chart that was showing that right now, for its USD value in relation to Bitcoin, we're at cycle lows. Okay, so this is the time to be potentially getting into Digibyte if you have, or excuse me, Doge. I'm speaking to Doge here, sorry. This is the time to be getting into Doge if you have not, in my opinion. But really, to feel convicted here, I want to start pushing up towards 12 cents. So why 12 cents? Why do I say 12 cents? It is a major area of price confluence that I see. I identified 12 cents. Let's turn this orange. Let's make it a thick line. It's very thick, and that is what she said. So you can see that if we get up into this orange cent area, what's happening is we're getting it closed, by the way, not a price wick. We're closing above here, this price wick. We're closing above these candle bodies into this wick territory. See, we couldn't sustain prices up here. You see how we couldn't sustain prices up here? So a candle body close is expressing strength because now we're higher than those wicks, okay, where there was buyer exhaustion. And now we're above these levels too. Okay, so 12 cents for me really is a major area for Doge. Once we start closing above 12 cents, I think things are really going to start to heat up in Doge. Until then, it's just a sharp spike of volatility. Now, if you're following any analysts that do this, just my suggestion that you unfollow them. You see how we broke out here from this downward area of resistance right around here? You take I've seen people do this. You take a bars pattern, you go like this, and then you take it here from a hypothetical breakout, and you say, oh my God, Doge is going all the way up to $11, and Doge is going all the way up to basically $12. If you're following any analysts that are projecting something out to you like this, that Doge is going to hit by May, though it could top by May based on my second most likely scenario for the market in that Bitcoin video. If you're following any analysts that are projecting Doge to go up to $12, please unfollow them. It's unrealistic, okay? The rates of appreciation down here are going to be much more significant than what we will see up here. You're going to see diminishing returns as the asset continues to grow in value. Could we do something like this? Could Doge do something like this? Yes. Could we exceed $1.50, get up right to $1.50? Yes, I think that is very possible. I think Doge going up to around $1.50 or more is very possible, okay? I definitely think we're going to break the prior cycle high, prior wave high here at 74 cents. So I think something of roughly twice that value, something up towards that $1.40, $1.50 range is very possible. But somebody that, again, puts that fractal up there, you need to check yourself before they help wreck yourself. Let's get off of this one. Now let's get into Caspa. I may have some newer newer followers that I've noticed have been tweeting about Caspa lately, because I have noticed it's gotten a lot of attention. And like I said, I'm considering creating a video just on Caspa. But for right now, I'm looking at a 2-day chart, looking at some price indicators. Stochastic RS, I want to go to a 3-day actually. I'm going to go to a 3-day. That's what I would prefer. So you can see the MACD, the angle on here, it's becoming really overheated. We can still continue to get overheated though. The RSI is a really healthy level. Let's see where we topped out before. Sort of topped out at that 95 range, it looks like. Right around here. Around 94, excuse me. Last time we had peaked. So we're still not up to that topping zone in the RSI. Stochastic RSI, see how it crossed down here? But there isn't anything overly concerning. It's not like we're having a deep cross here. We're still at 84 under 94, so I'm not worried about that. Really what I would focus on are areas of price confluence. And you can see here that I have a couple major areas marked. I would love to see, once this 3-day candlestick closes out, which it is set to close on tomorrow, I would love to see 3.7 cents hold as support. Why am I saying 3.7 cents? How did I come up with that? Really easy. Whenever we're attempting to identify areas of price confluence, always look left. Look left, and you will find areas of price confluence. You can see that we have several wicks here, candle bodies, but the wicks could not get above that area, couldn't get above it, and ultimately our all-time high here at 4.3 cents. So, but getting above 3.7 cents, what that psychologically will do, it'll express a lot of strength to the market, and it's going to increase the likelihood that 4.3 cents is going to break sooner rather than later. Now, if we can't hold 3.7 cents, it's not the end of the world. We've had major impulse here, okay? So let's identify other areas that we'd like to see hold as support. I'd like to see an area right around here. We're going to call that 3.15 cents. Okay, that would be another area of price support. Another area for me of price support on Caspa, ticker symbol KAS. That's nearly perfect. This is at about, we're going to call that 2 point, not trying to get too cute with prices, but 3.15 cents and 2.82 cents. Okay, those are some major areas. And if we go lower than that, I see another zone here, you know, roughly 2.6 cents. Okay, 0.26 cents. And we can go even lower. And the last area I'll mark here is right around, I like that, 2.45 cents. Okay, so these are your major areas of price confluence on the downside for Caspa. Okay, anywhere from 3.15 cents all the way down to 2.45 cents. Guys, could we do something like this? Come all the way down here and still be bullish? Yes. Why is that? Look at all of these higher lows coming in. I mean, I actually have this drawn on a different time frame, but it holds up well. Look at these higher lows coming in. So we can come all the way down here and still be bullish. Let's be patient, right? This thing has had a monumental surge in price. I don't know where its market cap ranking was down here. I'll do a little bit of research on that end before I create my video. Haven't done that yet. But guys, we were sitting at like half a cent. We've made a move from half a cent up to 4.3 cents. We've done basically an 8x, okay? An 8x plus, like a 9x, all right? So just be patient. It's very similar to what I said for Injective Protocol. We'll take a look at that one. But got to be patient until $10 breaks on Injective Protocol. We just have to be patient. But again, chart looks really healthy. I really like this chart. I mean, this looks beautiful. Let's take a look. By the way, drop a comment. Anybody here in CASPA? I have indicated that I've taken a position here. Is anybody else in CASPA? Doge defeats the purpose of a decentralized cryptocurrency. We'll have to see. You know, Elon loves trolling the community. We're going to have to see what Elon does with Twitter. I'm still calling it Twitter, but X. I was actually confused. I had this up in my tabs here, and I was like, where the hell is Twitter at? And the symbol had changed, and I couldn't locate Twitter temporarily. But we'll have to see what Elon is doing. I want to see if there's any notifications there from Elon, but we'll have to see what Elon's going to do with Twitter, X, whatever, and Doge. But there's no arguing the chart for Doge and how bullish it is. Very similar to Digibyte. There's no arguing how bullish the chart is for Digibyte. You know, it has a ton of price history, and both charts are very bullish. Okay, so we haven't taken a look at this one in a while. Let's remove this. This looks a little cluttered. The golden area was my buy zone. You can see we got in there. Anywhere between 450. I really thought this 450 area was going to get hit. We never did. But still, we hit as low as 540 here, 537. Let's get rid of the orange box. Let's turn this into an area of support because we're above it. You can see I haven't looked at this chart in a little bit. Pretty sure I identified areas of price confluence here on a different time frame. We're going to go to a 3-day. I think I might have identified this on a 12-hour. Let's look at a daily. Let's take off it's just too cluttered. This chart is getting a little too. All right, let's take a look at, yeah, this was on a 12-hour. Maybe let's take a look at it on a 12-hour. Why not? Yeah, so that was broken. So this is, sorry, I keep going back and forth on time frames. So let's stick with the daily. So right now, let's get off of this. It's just too messy. So right now, major areas of price confluence. Of course, there's another one right there. Again, I created these areas of price confluence on a different time frame, so you'll have to bear with me. It's about 560. Let's just make it 560 and round it. So you can see I have, and that lines up with the 200 simple moving average. Guys, this is Injective Protocol, ticker symbol INJ on the daily. You can see here all that's going on. Look, we've double topped up here at 10 bucks. We just can't get above $10 for now. Now, you know, based on my video, if you've watched my Injective Protocol video, I think it is very possible for Injective Protocol before all things are said and done for this thing to hit 100 bucks. So I still see from current price levels, it's at 8. I still think this thing has roughly a 13x in it. Okay, so we'll have to see if that holds true. There we go. But for right now, $10 is causing us a problem. You can see the 50 simple moving average, so long as we stay above it, is going to act as an area of support. Given how volatile an asset like this is, though, wouldn't surprise me to see us lose that 50 simple moving average and come back towards this 650. Now, are we going to create a new lower low since we've been... Now, what do I mean? A lower low relative to where we've come in, meaning we were at 10. We came down here to 560. We technically, this is almost a double bottom, but we want a little bit lower. Are we going to come down here and like triple bottom in this area, or are we going to create a lower low and come down towards this 450? We're going to have to see. And a lot of the strength that we're going to see or weakness in these altcoins are going to be contingent on what Bitcoin does. I do not see a scenario where Bitcoin all of a sudden, let's say that based on some market reaction or the way the charts are lining up, we get a strong reaction tomorrow, unexpected positive news surprise on the pause, and Bitcoin makes some sort of 8-10% move in price, right? Your altcoins in that situation are not going down, they're going up, right? the only way that something happens and we start to lose support here and go down towards the 450 level, which is where I thought we were possibly going to get to. Looks like it's not 450, it's 440. Is if Bitcoin sees some sort of strong reaction to the downside. So if Bitcoin does do some sort of 10% correction, we see some volatility and we come down to this area before bouncing up, well, 10% move in Bitcoin could result, in a 30% move down for injective protocol, just to throw out a percentage out there. So a 30% move, if we saw a 30% move, it would put us down to like 550. Maybe we see something closer to a 40% move down and we come all the way down to, $5 or something like that. So really Bitcoin is going to be the driver of value. I've spoken that much on this channel countless times, guys. So goes Bitcoin, so goes the rest of the market. Let's get to some comments here before we start talking charts again. If I have time, Greg, I will take a look at one of those. What's up, Track? Glad to see you. If I said, I thought Casper was CSPR, not Caspa. Different or name change? Oh, so apologize if I was saying Casper. I'm pretty sure I was saying Caspa. It is hard to, if I tend to get very animated on this channel and get very excited. So if I was speaking too fast, Caspa, K-A-S-P-A, is a different project than Casper, Casper Labs, C-A-S-P-E-R. So Casper is CSPR and Caspa is KAS. Sorry if I'm speaking too fast. Couple other projects I just wanted to quickly point out to you, and I'll get to some questions here. This is Alchemy Pay on the 2-day Heikin-Ashi candle chart. Again, I'm still expecting a move like this. We were in a massive falling wedge here. We had our first wave movement up here. We've since had a consolidation into another falling wedge. I'm expecting, again, some sort of massive move up. Now, obviously, if Bitcoin unexpectedly dumps 10%, that's going to change the situation, and we could see a further drop down towards 1.4 cents. So we'll have to wait and see. But for right now, this is a valid falling wedge. It's also a bull pennant, so we'll have to see if that plays out. Two lower market cap plays I'm keeping an eye on. This is MDT, Measurable Data Token. I have a very small position in this. You can see we've broken out of this falling wedge here. When we broke out, we quickly came back down, but we've back tested this prior area of resistance as support. So we'll have to see if that holds. That's another one I'm keeping an eye on. PRQ is another area I'm looking at here. This thing, again, this is in a falling wedge. A lot of falling wedges, right, guys? This is actually wasn't intentional. This is a falling wedge. This is very much a falling wedge. Okay, falling wedge. And again, wide up here and then getting more narrow. This is in a falling wedge, so I would just keep an eye on that. Now, real quick, want to take a look at the NASDAQ, just kind of getting a pulse on the traditional markets, because the traditional markets need to be doing well for Bitcoin and crypto to be doing well. Again, the most likely scenario, in my opinion, now that NASDAQ has gotten this high, and this is a 2-week chart, and we've turned, for the moment, we've turned this $1,500 area into support. The most likely scenario is either a double top up here, where our prior all-time high was, up towards 16,900, or we're creating new all-time highs. Guys, you know what camp I'm in, okay? The NASDAQ looks like it's setting up for new all-time highs this year. The markets continue to do what most people, if you turn on traditional news outlets and you listen to most pundits, I have been speaking to things that I believed would be occurring in 2023 that 99% of people, at least on traditional news outlets, were not saying, right? And very few people were saying, even on Twitter, if you looked at the sentiment, right? Our bounce here has been significant, just like it's been on the S&P, guys. Look at the S&P right now. Now, this is a monthly. I'm waiting for a breakout above this $4,600 area. Once we start pushing above 4,600, and we've gotten our MACD cross here on the monthly, which statistically, again, if we go back in time, there's a much higher, permiso. There's a much higher statistical likelihood. I love throwing that terminology out there as an actuary. There's a much higher statistical likelihood, but it's the truth. There's a much higher statistical likelihood now that we've had that MACD cross on the monthly, how significant it is on a higher time frame, that we're going to see continued upside for at least a few months. And again, once we get a candle body close above 4,600, it is significantly increasing the probability we're either going to double top at all-time highs, or we're going to clear it, as I believe we will, and create new all-time highs in the stock market, okay? Something to keep an eye on. Now, I want to turn to your questions. We're already 40 minutes into the live stream. I wanted to try to keep this closer to 35, 40 minutes, so I'm probably only going to take a question or two before we go live tomorrow. I don't know for tomorrow's live stream, for those who missed it, with Tony coming on, I don't know how long the live stream is going to go tomorrow. We could go an hour tomorrow. We could go more than an hour. I'm very open to the live stream going as long as it goes. We have several items that we're going to cover, which we'll get into at the top of the live stream tomorrow, but really excited to have him on. If you guys weren't here at the top of the live stream, Tony's going to be coming on the live stream tomorrow, Tony the Bull. And he's going to be sharing his viewpoints. I think he has a lot of information to offer, and I think it would be value added for you guys to tune in. Let me see what questions you have. Matic, and I know there was another question up top. Yeah, let's take a look at Matic. Felt like I may have just charted this one for myself recently. Maybe not. I don't know. This is a 2-week chart. Let's take a look at a weekly. MACD's trying to curl back up. Yeah, we'll look at a 3-day. Yeah, so right now with Matic, you can see from our bounce low here, we've had a push all the way up to here at about 89 cents, and since we've dropped, 75 cents is a major area of price confluence I've identified. I want to see us get back above that. I'm not going to start to get more excited about Matic until we can start to bounce and get back up into like a $1.05 zone. Once we can clear this $1.05, look at all this price confluence we would eliminate. You see all this price confluence? All this is now scribbled out. Forget that. Now we're up here. And so now we don't have as much price confluence. We don't really have a lot of price confluence. So for Matic, I believe we're in the middle of a turnaround to get back above $1.05, at and above $1.05. We'll just have to be patient and wait and see. That's what I see in the charts. Yeah, not too much else to cover there. Although one other thing, I guess. Yeah, we're still in this downtrend track. The other thing I would point out here, my crypto brother from another mother, I would point out the fact that you can see we have resistance. We almost touched there. And we're starting to fall back under it, right? So we really need to get a push up here and clear all this bullshit here, okay? All right, what other questions, what other TA questions do we have? Teo, Trias, I don't think I've ever charted this. Oh, by the way, I'll have to see how the camera quality is. I don't know that I like the lighting. Yeah, I don't think the lighting is all that good. Let me try to change that, actually. I actually changed cameras, made a slight upgrade on cameras that I was hoping the camera quality would be a little bit better. So I'll have to see how that comes out in the live streams. I guess if I like the other camera better, I'm going to go back to that and return the other camera, but I was hoping to make a slight upgrade here. Not familiar with this project. This is Trias. HSB, thank you for the question. We can certainly take a look at it. Trias, I don't know how you pronounce it. Never charted this one before? Well, I mean, clearly what I like to see here, let's see if there's any negative divergence. No, not really. I mean, guys, since our bottom in November, man, I got a kink in my back. Since the bottom of November, look what we've done. You know, we're just creating these stair steps up, right? Very, very healthy to see higher highs, higher lows. Let's just focus on the weekly, and let's focus on not fucking up in trading view. How about that? Let's not fuck up in trading view. Starting to get a cross down on the MACD. Don't want to see that on the weekly. Let's keep that stochastic RSI above 20. We're at 21.63. Yes, we have the negative cross. I'm more focused on the stochastic RSI getting below 20. I don't want to get below 20, okay? Oh, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. HSB giving me a super chat. That is my first super chat. That is very kind. Very, very kind of you, sir. $20 is a lot of Satoshis. Thank you very much. Yes, to everyone new tuning in, I finally, after being on YouTube for a lengthy amount of time, I finally have gotten to the point of monetizing my channel. It's been a long road, so I appreciate the support. I do not expect anyone to super chat or do anything like that, but if anybody wants to, hey, thank you very much. So HSB, you are my first revenue on YouTube. I very much appreciate it, very much. So anyway, kind of taking a look at Trias here, what I want to focus on is the fact on the price indicator perspective, we're starting to get a cross down on the MACD here. Okay, I don't want to see that. You can see the histograms turning red. We're getting across down. The stochastic RSI is remaining above 20. It's at 21, barely above 20. Let's not go below there. But price is king. Let's try to focus on where we can see first areas of support. Let's focus on areas of support. There's a couple here that stick out to me that are just screaming out. Okay, there's an area right around here. This one's pretty intuitive. I think if you guys have been here for a while, you should be able to see this. You can see if we look left, we have an area of price confluence here. Once we pushed above it, you see how we came down here and stayed above it, and then once we broke it, we couldn't really sustain price action. It was hard for us to get above it, I should say. So there's an area right around 253. That would be my first area of price confluence. Let's clean this up. And I'm sorry, this question came from Greg. Thank you for the question. So this is at, we'll round it, 254. Round up. And I want to create a zone. Right around there. We're going to make that 210. Okay? So really, my major area of support here that I don't want to see get lost, and in fact, I'm going to draw one more, just kind of stuck out to me. Yeah, right there, 181. Now, we have to understand, anytime on this channel, anytime that we are drawing, it's not just on this channel, it's anytime you're charting, anytime we're drawing areas of price confluence and they're near what's called a psychological level, you have to keep the psychological level in mind, right? So $2 in this example is a psychological level, and I have an area of price confluence at $2, right? It also so happens that I have another area of price confluence at $1.81, right? $1.80, let's just call it $1.80, right? So this entire area is a huge area of price confluence. If we start to get down to 210, in my opinion, there's a very solid likelihood we could go down to that psychological level. Of course, people love to front run psychological levels. If you're looking, let's say you have identified $2 as a main area that you want to buy. Again, never financial advice on this channel, but one of the worst things you can do is set a buy limit order or wait for the price to come down to $2. Set your buy limit order at 201, 202, 203. Front run that psychological level. Never put it at the even level. Same thing when you sell out. If you're looking to sell at $1, don't wait for $1. Sell at 97 cents, 99 cents, 96 cents, 95. Front run that dollar target, okay? So these are the major areas of price confluence in terms of support. Now, what about resistance? Well, clearly we have a wick here. I'm going to guess that has some area of price confluence if we look left, and it looks like it does right there. 473. 473 is going to be an area of price confluence, absolutely, and there's really a zone. If we want to get real cute, which we typically don't do on this channel, yeah, there's a zone. And again, this shouldn't be shocking. There's a zone right at $5. So right between $4.73 and $5, that's really going to create a strong area of resistance for us. Once we start to, wow, this is picture perfect. Once we clear $5, my God, look at all these wicks here and look at the wick here. There's another area of price confluence right at 696. Right at 696, okay? Other areas, probably that's where I would leave it and we can come back, but I'll draw one more area that I see here. Hoping this camera was worth it because, you know, I paid some dinero for this camera during the Amazon Prime sale. Yeah, right around 1104, okay? So these are your major areas of price confluence, Greg, all right? When I say Greg, I'm thinking of my friend Greg, who I haven't seen in years. I don't think you're that Greg. That Greg is a unique Greg. He's very unique. He's a unique individual. So once we clear around $4.73 to $5, the next major of price confluence I see is around 696, right around $7, right? And then we're heading up towards 11, okay? Things will really start to get interesting for Trias. I would actually come back and ask a question on this channel for an updated view once we start clearing with candle body closes on a weekly basis, $7, okay? Once we clear $7, just keep the even number in your head, $7. Let's come back. Let's take a look at it together. Track is asking a good question in terms of what time is the live stream tomorrow. So Tony, again, for everyone just tuning in, Tony the Bull is going to be coming on the channel. Let me get down to Tony here. You can see that I retweeted something of his recently. You can give him a follow. Again, I'm having him on the channel because he is a genuine, authentic, passionate, technical analyst looking to help other people. I want to have people like that on the channel, okay? And what I had shared with him was we are planning to go live tomorrow between 5 and 5:15 Eastern Standard Time. Have a cushion in there. I have a feeling it's going to be closer to 5:15 with what I have going on at work. I need a little bit of time to get set up. I'm going to have a little bit of a different setup and have some headphones on. So really nice pair of headphones. They're actually really nice. I got those on. I got those. I did not get those with a Prime sale. I got those full. No, maybe I got them Prime sale, but they're pretty nice. So that's when I am going to be live tomorrow. Guys, any other TA questions? I'm happy to take one more, and then I'm going to sign off and get some dinner going. And then I'm coming back here to do some charting and maybe put some thought into a video that I really wanted to get out. You know, I had mentioned aiming my goal. I'm not trying. My goal and what I will do is get 3 published TA videos out a week. Wasn't able to put in the work this weekend because I was with family, so I'm trying to find the time to get out a video tomorrow. If there isn't, you know, I should have one out Thursday and Friday or Friday and Saturday, but trying to put some thought into what I can do there. Total. Okay, last chart of the day. We're going to take a look at total market cap on crypto. Great question coming in from HSB because we haven't looked at that in a little while. I don't know that I want to look at this chart. This is on the monthly. We can look at it on the monthly because I really think it would be helpful for everybody to just calm down and take a look at a higher time frame. Now, this monthly candlestick to me is important. And why is this monthly candlestick to me important? This is the total cryptocurrency market cap. There's an area of support right around, okay, that should have known better, 1.14 trillion, okay? Why is this candlestick important to me? A couple reasons. Now, the primary reason is the formation of the candlestick. Right now, we have a long wick up here. We don't like to see that, and we have a thin red body. If we get some negative reactions in the market and we can't hold price levels, this body's going to be thick and it's going to start to close down here. It increases the likelihood we could start to like hang out down here longer, okay? I would love to see this monthly candlestick be green. Let's close. We open the month at 1.14 156 trillion. I would love to see this month the total cryptocurrency market cap print at a shooting star. I'm reading your comments. I would love to see this current total cryptocurrency market cap print at 1.16 trillion and above. And I'll get to your comment in a moment on a shooting star. Technicals. Again, the other thing that's going to increase the likelihood, this MACD, man, look at this MACD. What is going on with this MACD? It's starting to flatten out here and it wants to curl up. If we get a red candlestick, it's going to want to start to curve down. We want this thing to curl up. If we can get a green body in here, this thing's going to start to curl up. Stochastic RSI looks good. RSI is still oversold at 49. We want to see that thing start to push above that 55.60 level. To your comment for shooting star, full transparency, I'm not current on every single candlestick formation. There's some I can name to you. So I can't, I honestly forget what a shooting star does mean. I'd have to actually do a quick Google on it. But, which let me do. A shooting star candlestick formation. And then I'll tell you what the more important thing for me is and how I'm potential price top and reversal. Okay, now let's actually look at the formation here. Yeah, so basically, again, a shooting star, it's the name of the candlestick is signaling what I would signal in words, right? It's bearish, understood. So without actually knowing the name of this candlestick, even if I didn't know what a gravestone doji was, right? If I went back to Bitcoin's chart, let's go on the weekly. Even if I didn't know that the name of this candlestick, the important thing to me is, it's not important to understand what the name of this is. That's not what's important. The important thing to understand is, what is the story behind the candlestick? We have a thin red body and we have buyer exhaustion with a huge wick up here. Very bearish, okay? Now, if you can identify the candlestick, extra points, right? But this is a very bearish candlestick and you can see we turned over in price. This was the 14,000 top back in 2019, okay? We turned over in price. Now, what HSB is pointing out here is, yes, if I were to just look at this without knowing it's a shooting star, and a shooting star is typically a trend reversal bearish candlestick to the downside, when I look at this candlestick, what I see a thin red body, there is a medium to thin size red body, and a huge wick here. Buyer exhaustion. That is not the story we want to be telling right now, okay? It's bearish. And that's why I'm pointing out to you, we don't want to see the red candlestick get even redder. We want to close the month at 1.16 trillion or above. To state this, to kind of continue to elaborate on this idea, if we close and we look similar to a candlestick like this, or we get thicker and red body, there is a much higher statistical likelihood we're just going to hang out at these lower levels until we start pushing up, right? And that's why I'm saying this month is an extremely important month to me. If this month comes in stagnant or bearish, it's really going to make me reevaluate my main hypothesis on Bitcoin topping in the fourth quarter of this year, and then looking into my alternative scenario, which is really having that blow off top, going into the halving, and having that halving being a sell the news event. It's going to be a sell the news event in my opinion, regardless. But yeah, I'm glad you pointed this out, because we're going to, we'll take a look at it on the live stream once we close the month out. But right now, this is a very bearish candle. So we'd love to see some strong bullish momentum unexpectedly coming this week. And I say unexpectedly, not because it would be unexpected for me. It'd be unexpected based on everything that I'm hearing out there. The other thing that kind of blew my mind is I was listening to a Spaces, real quick before we sign off. I was listening to a Twitter Spaces this morning, one that I commonly listen to. You are unique, Greg. I know you're unique, Greg. And if you are the Greg that I'm thinking, I don't think you're the Greg who I'm thinking of, but in any event, you are unique, sir. I was listening to a Twitter Spaces earlier today, and something really bothered me that one of the people who was hosting it said. This individual said that Bitcoin has been diverging from the stock market. Maybe I misheard him, but this is what I recall because I was multitasking. Bitcoin has been diverging from traditional markets since last summer. That could not be any further from the truth. Bitcoin, at the top of my memory, based on what I've shared in a recent live stream, we took a look at this extensively together. Bitcoin has had some divergence from the traditional stock market since around April. Okay, so around 3.5 months. All right, but traditional markets and crypto are very positively correlated. Sometimes, and we've spoken about this with the DXY index, sometimes there's a lag in recognition with price moves, but they generally follow one another. So what I get from current market movements, the fact that traditional markets have been responding differently over the course of the past several months. I'll take a look at PacWest. Thank you for pointing that out. Another important point, don't mean to sidetrack here, but I have indicated on this channel that March was the beginning of the bank collapse, the banking crisis. It was not the end of it. It was just the start of it, the beginning. And then we're just going to see industry consolidation. This is what I've spoken to, so not surprising one bit. But anyway, my view is that crypto and Bitcoin are going to catch up to traditional markets, okay? They're going to catch up to traditional markets. And they traditionally, in a risk-on environment, far outpace, guys. If we are in a risk-on environment, I've spoken about this so many times, if we are in a risk-on environment, you want to be in something like crypto because it is going to far outpace anything you're going to get in the traditional stock markets, okay? AI and crypto is going to far outpace any of your traditional stocks. Just like if we're in a bear market, the last thing you want to be in are technology stocks like an AI play or crypto. They're going to far out pace to the downside in a negative fashion, the negative returns you will see overall in the S&P and the Dow Jones, okay? So keep an eye. I think tomorrow's going to be a very lively live stream with Tony, and it's going to be interesting to see what the federal interest rate announcement is. I'm going to be keenly paying attention to that. Again, if I had to take my chips and put them on something, I would go with empirical data. And as I pointed out in the video published on Monday, the empirical data points to the fact that there is a much higher statistical likelihood that the federal interest rates will remain paused. He's going to come out. He's going to give whatever hawkish statements he wants to make himself sound all proud and not proud, but tough on inflation. So we'll have to see. Certainly doesn't help that another bank is collapsing because of the mess of interest rates that the Federal Reserve has created by increasing interest rates at a historically fast rate from 0 to 5%. That rate of change really fucked over a lot of the banks that were holding certain assets, bonds, that took a huge hit, and they are what I would call zombie banks. They have a lot of unrealized losses. And a lot of that is coming fruition right now, it seems like. It's going to, like I said, I think the banking crisis just got started in March. We're going to see a lot more banks fail going into the end of the year. So we'll have to see how things pan out with that. The worst thing the Federal Reserve can do is to continue to increase interest rates because it's just going to cause more pain to the banking industry. But we shall see what they're going to do. So, guys, appreciate the first super chat, HSB. Appreciate the engagement as always. Make sure you tune in around 5:15 tomorrow to see a really lively conversation between myself and Tony. He's gonna I'm telling you, it's gonna be well worth the view. We've spoken about what he's going to share. He's gonna have a lot of views that are unique to his perspective, and it adds extra value for you to tune in. He's not going to be regurgitating a lot of the same stuff I've spoken to. It's going to be different charts, different views, different perspectives, okay? So make sure you tune in tomorrow. Spread the word, and until next time, spread awareness. Let's all carry the education forward. Take care, everybody.